What's the difference between the RKC Snatch technique and the AKC Snatch technique? Well, as a broad overview, it's the difference between running a sprint and running a marathon. If you're running a sprint, you're not concerned about conserving energy. You're concerned about how fast you can get from here to there. When you're running a marathon, everything is about going the distance. The AKC Snatch methodology is designed for competitive kettlebell lifting, which is how many times can you snatch a kettlebell in 10 minutes, and you get to change hands once. So that means I have to hold it in one hand for 5 minutes and do as many as I can, and then switch to the other hand. So when you compare RKC versus AKC, one of the key considerations is conservation of grip, because I can't hold on to it. If I'm doing it for a long enough period of time, I get forearm fatigue, grip fatigue, and I tend to drop the kettlebell. So a lot of the things that are done in the snatch itself are designed to reduce grip fatigue. So this is a RKC type snatch. I'm going to put my hand basically in the middle of the handle. As the kettlebell comes up, I'm going to punch my hand through it, and then I'm going to grip the kettlebell at the top. I will end up in the same position that I would be in if I were to press a kettlebell. So there's some uniformity of position. I press the kettlebell to here, I snatch the kettlebell to here. Notice the position at the bottom is the same as the RKC swing. So as it comes down, I pull myself into the hole, shoulders packed, spine is aligned, sniff in some air, and then snatch the kettlebell. The AKC methodology is, well, when I get it overhead, this is a position of rest. So I should open my hand and allow the forearm to recover, because I'm going to do this for repetitions. In order to do that, the position of the hand is different on the handle. I want to position it diagonally across my hand so that it touches this wrist bone. When I'm in this position, I can't grip it, but it's locked by my thumb and this wrist bone. So in this overhead position now, it's supported without me gripping it. That gives this some chance to relax, which I'm going to need as the kettlebell goes between my legs. I have to grip it. So that's the first grip conservation technique, to open the hand and position it diagonally. The second is, as the kettlebell is descending between my legs, rather than gripping it like I do when I'm pressing, I'm going to use the feature of the kettlebell that allows me to hook my thumb around this smaller handle. So I actually have my thumb on top of my index finger. See? This allows me not to grip it and use all the muscles in my forearm, but to use more of this musculature in this part of my hand. If you look at almost every kettlebell lifter's hands, there's more calluses on these middle two fingers, and then a little one here, and very few calluses here. That's because we tend to grip more with these three fingers. So consciously attending to trying to grip with these helps distribute the wear across the entire palm. So this is the RKC grip. You'll grip it in the middle. Keep your forearm straight. AKC, you're going to grip it more towards the hook of the handle, which you see is shaped slightly different. And then in that hook, I'm going to hook my thumb over my index finger. So at the bottom of the grip, I'm going to be essentially in this position. These will grip to help you hold it. Okay, so another difference between RKC and AKC snatch technique is the breathing methodology. There are two types. One is called anatomical breathing. That's where we exhale as we bend over, inhale as we stand up, and paradoxical breathing, which is the opposite of that. This is the breathing that is associated with the RKC swing. So that as the kettlebell comes between my legs, I sniff in through my nose. That powers up the abs and helps protect the spine. So this is the breathing for the RKC. As the kettlebell comes down, I'm going to sniff in. When it gets to the top, I'll exhale. So notice there's no attempt at energy conservation there. Simply do the lift as many times as possible in as short a period of time as possible. The AKC breathing, by contrast, uses anatomical breathing. So as the kettlebell comes down, I'm going to exhale, inhale as it comes up, and pause as long as necessary at the top to ensure that the pace is something I can sustain. Here's how it looks. Another difference between the RKC and the AKC methodology is a concept of pace versus repetitions. So one concept is how many times can I perform a snatch with this kettlebell? When I do that, basically I just go until I can't do anymore. That's not the way you would run a marathon. The way you run a marathon is you say, I need to continue running for as long as it takes. So the objective in AKC training is to develop a pace that you can sustain. So in RKC, there is no point in resting at the top. You go until you can't go. AKC, by contrast, you will develop a pace. Something that you can continue for many minutes. So you can rest here, breathe. Notice I'm not sprinting. I'm running like I would if I ran a marathon. It doesn't mean that it's not challenging, certainly. You may increase the pace, you might increase the weight. Because I'm doing this longer with a kettlebell, typically, for AKC or competition style, I tend to work the stabilizing muscles more than I do just the legs and lifting muscles. So that's another thing that happens when you do the AKC style of lifting, is you very much improve the ability of the shoulder, wrist, elbow, spine, feet to stabilize a weight overhead because you're spending more time with a weight in that position. One last piece of digression is wristbands. Some people frown on these. Honestly, to my way of thinking, it's not important to develop places on the back of your arm that don't have sensitivity. Beating this up until you can't feel it serves no benefit. If you wear these, it can also keep some of the sweat off your hands, which will help you hold onto the kettlebell. So feel free to grab some regular wristbands from your local sports outlet and use them for performing your kettlebell snatches. It may help your workout. Enjoy.